Good morning and welcome to Pioneer Congregational United Church of Christ, where all are truly welcome. My name is David Clark and I'm a religious science practitioner and ministerial student in my final year, now serving the Center for Spiritual Living Davis community. And it is my great pleasure to be here with you today. My wife Heather and I have been longtime supporters and friends of Pioneer Congregational, and we have performed or attended many musical services and programs here. And I've always been stunned and amazed at how open, how diverse, and loving, and respectful this community is. And it is my great pleasure to be here. An infinite God touches everyone and everything. And as shards of this infinite presence, we each experience God in our own different way. We gather today to explore the goodness of God from yet another perspective. Let us do so knowing that God is present here and now with us, and that all is truly well.
Hello, friends. How are you doing? Do you have your learning partner with you? Now, some of you may not IRL, as my nieces would say. This means in real life. This means you may not have a parent able to sit with you, and you may not have a pet at your house to talk to. But you know who you do have as a learning partner? The Creator. So if you don't have a learning partner with you IRL, talk with the Creator as you listen. Now, the Creator has many names: God, Allah, the Divine Goddess, that's one of my favorites, and more. This being is always with us because they created us. The Creator is kind of like a parent. Even if our parent isn't with us in real life, not physically here with us, their love for us is with us always. Their desire and hope and goal for us is that we are well, and the parents and other adults who help us grow and learn want us to be the best we that we can be. And that is why they both do their best to keep us safe and healthy, but also let us fall or struggle sometimes. Because in that hurt, in our struggle, we become a stronger, more resilient being. Now, resilient is a big word. Have you heard this before? Tell your learning partner what you think resilient might mean. Now, if you heard my message last week, I talked about a different word that goes along with this one: perseverance. When we persevere, we push through and keep going, even when it's difficult. Resilient is what we are and how we feel when we've gone through that struggle. Have you ever watched a butterfly struggle to come out of its cocoon? It's very difficult. And when they're doing it, we might want to help it because it is struggling. But if we help it, the butterfly's wings don't get strong enough to fly once it gets out of the cocoon. It has to persevere or struggle to enjoy the blessings of flying once it's out. The Creator has given the caterpillar a confidence that it can go through something hard and be a stronger, more resilient creature when the hard part is over, when we're struggling or sad or frustrated, angry or confused. It's hard to see the blessings that the Creator has given us. So here's a suggestion. Try not to focus on the struggle. Focus on the knowledge that the Creator has poured into us a beautiful gift, that when we choose how we react and we choose for ourselves what to think, then we will be a stronger, more resilient creature when the hard times are over. The blessings are all around us, from the smallest caterpillars and the butterflies to our friends and family, creating a life with all the good that we can see and that we can imagine later. See you soon.
Our first reading comes from This Thing Called You by Ernest Holmes. There is within each one of us an intelligence which may be called upon, utilized, and experienced. Blessed are they who, having not seen, in confidence believe, and recognize that in themselves the Creator of all things has poured forth a supreme gift, the ability to choose for themselves what they shall think, and thus create for themselves a life filled with all the good they can envision.
There's one power invisible, and we see it every hour and every day. One power indescribable, and we speak of it with every word we say. Mysterious until we know the truth, as simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Mahula, angels' wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? speak so many languages, different colors, different clothing, different names. But different is only dangerous when we forget that in our hearts we're all the same. We'll remember when we close our eyes to sleep. Such distances were never meant to be. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angels' wings or heaven's door. It's Muhammad, it's your mind, it's your soul or it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air you breathe. It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power, one power. It's the moment of creation. It's the everlasting peace. It's the freedom of forgiveness. It's the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. It's the sunshine on your face. It's the birthright of all nations. It's the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby, the serenity of sleep. It's the anger you abandon for its love that's most deep. It's wonder. One power. One power. It's the power of love that lives forever in you and me. It's the power of love in you and me.
Our second reading comes from Richer Living by Ernest Holmes. The law of life is a law of cooperation with all that is fine and true. Believing that life is God in action, we must accept its processes with a firm conviction that in the long run all things will work together for good. Resistance brings contraction. Cooperation brings expansion. God's mind is already in perfect action. We cannot start it working for us, for it is already trying to bring forth good by means of us.
Put peace into each other's
practice a teaching called religious science or science of mind. And no, it's not Christian Science or Scientology. The science of mind was established in 1927 by Ernest Holmes as a spiritual, philosophical, and metaphysical religious movement within the New Thought movement. The term science of mind applies to the teachings, and religious science applies to the organizational structure. But really, the two terms are interchangeable. Ernest Holmes stated, "Religious science is a correlation of laws of science, opinions of philosophy, and revelations of religion applied to human needs and the aspirations of all mankind." And that's a lot. But in actuality, science of mind has a lot in common with Christianity. We both believe in one almighty, all-knowing creator of all things, God. We both believe that God is eternal, infinite. We both believe that God loves its creation, us. We believe in love and in the healing, uniting, and peace-generating power of love. We believe in prayer, and we believe that God hears and responds to our prayers. And we believe in blessings. And that's what I want to talk to you about today, is blessings. One of my favorite Christmas songs, it's not really a Christmas song, but it's a song that always comes up around Christmas, is Irving Berlin's classic, "Count Your Blessings." As I was listening to it during this holiday season, every time I hear it, I think of my own blessings, and I start counting up the blessings in my own life. And among them were the usual suspects of friends and family and fortunate events. And before I knew it, I had amassed quite a list of blessings. And I thought, oh boy, I am so blessed. And isn't that what blessings are all about? There's nothing quite like knowing that you're blessed. Drawing the conclusion that God is with you, God is helping you, seeing God's hand working through your life is a beautiful thing. And the more I counted, the more I started to notice what I wasn't counting. Those moments in between blessings. Could it be that as I affirm the existence of my blessings, that I am also indirectly affirming that there are times when I'm not blessed? I noticed that I rarely, if ever, considered pain, loss, betrayal, or simple boredom as blessings. Then it occurred to me, am I leaving some of that feeling that I get, some of that energy, some of that oomph, some of that grace that I get when I realize that I've been blessed? Am I leaving some of that goodness on the table? Perhaps there's blessed moments in there somewhere that I should be appreciating, that I should be making note of, that I should be collecting. The great thing about blessings is whether you've just been blessed or if you realize a blessing long after it's occurred, it still has the same effect on our hearts and our minds. When I was a kid, my family went to Disneyland every summer. It's the highlight of the year. We'd pack up the car and we would make the 400-mile drive from Sacramento to Anaheim, California. And in real time, this trip takes about 6 to 7 hours, or it used to back then. But in kid time, mashed into a car next to my big brother, arguing the whole way, being threatened by my mom the whole way, being growled at by my dad for the entire trip. It felt like it took 2 days. The fact that we were on our way to the happiest place on earth just made the trip seem so much longer because I really wanted to get there. Back then, there was one blessing for me, and that was Disneyland. The rest of the trip, I would have no problem describing as not blessed. But that begs the question, when exactly did the blessing start? Did it start as we walked through the gates of the Magic Kingdom? Did it start as we entered into the parking lot of Disneyland? Or maybe it started as soon as I could catch a glimpse of a ride. You could see, just as you're driving up to Disneyland, about a mile away, you can see the top of the Matterhorn, and then you get really excited. Is that when the blessing started? Well, if you think about it, none of these things could have happened if we never left the house in the first place. So it could be argued that the entire journey was just as blessed as the destination, because you can't have one without the other. At the very least, we can say that the events leading up to arriving at Disneyland were complicit in the realization of that blessing. In this case, I knew where my blessing was. I knew that I was on my way to Disneyland. I was on my way to good times. I knew that because we were in the car driving there, no matter how many times my mom threatened to turn around and bring us back home. I knew that we were going there. But in life, we don't always know where our next blessing is coming from. We don't always know if it's right around the corner. We don't always know that what we're experiencing right now is leading us to our next blessing. We can really only know two things. We're either experiencing a blessing right now, we're realizing that we're experiencing a blessing right now, or we are on our way to our next blessing. So the question becomes, what is more blessed, the journey or the destination? And since we can't separate the two, they must be equally blessed. Eventually, we then have to ask an even bigger question. When are we not blessed? On my talks at my home center, I like to give homework. And I'm going to give you a little bit of homework now. Pick a blessing, any blessing. Find something that is good in your life that you are thankful for. And then once you have it in your mind, trace the path of that blessing, how it got to you. What circumstances, what happenstance, what little miracles, what little synchronicities and coincidences that happened along the way to perfectly align you for to fully receive that blessing. Can you see God working in your life? Can you see how you were led to this feeling of oneness with the Creator, this grace that has shined upon you? Can you see that it was part of a long path? It was at the end of a long path of blessed moments. Choosing to look at your life in this way can make counting your blessings a rather daunting task. It means that we can choose to see our entire lives as blessings. Remember that great feeling that arose from just counting a limited number of blessings? Well, now we can unlock the peace, the joy, the gratitude, and apply it to our past and help us come to a place of gratitude for everything that has preceded it. For everything that has preceded this present moment, this present blessing. We can look upon the future with giddy anticipation and wonder what new blessings are in store, because that is one of our guarantees that we are on our way to our next blessing right now. And we can make our choices in the present, knowing that no matter what we choose, nothing can interrupt our flow of good and our connection to our Creator. So I know there's skeptics out there saying, okay, life is one infinite blessing, so what? The economy still sucks. COVID-19 is still out there running rampant. Countries are still at war. My neighbor still lets his dog poop on my lawn. Nothing has changed. Even though we have made a strong argument to enjoy every moment of our lives, nothing has actually changed. So what's the difference between thinking that you have a limited number of blessings and having the belief that your life is a blessing and everything in it? Well, the benefit is that now you have a rationale, a logic that explains and that describes the fact that you are not forsaken, that you are never alone, that you are never unloved, that you are never unsupported, that you are never unguided. The Creator of all things is our constant companion. You don't have to be afraid and apprehensive about the good in your life and how long it will last, because our source of good is infinite. There's no limitation to God. And that is the big mistake that I always used to make before I learned more about myself and learned more about what God could be, is that sometimes God is present and active, and sometimes God is not. But the nature of an infinite being means that it goes on without end. Where does infinity stop? Where does it start? An infinite God is in every crack and crevice, in every corner, in every heart, in every mind, in every action. God is ever present, giving, loving, nurturing, and blessing. So, I want to leave you with the idea that you can go forward with your endeavors of the day, you can go forward and experience your life just as you had before, but never forget that God is present and blessing you in your life at all times. And always ask the question, go back and ask the question, what is God giving me? Where is my blessing? How is this situation that I'm in right now, how is that a blessing from God? Because it is. We just need to alter our thinking and get with what we really believe. And that is an eternal, infinite God that gives eternally. Thank you. there is one God, one consciousness, one mind, one spirit. And that spirit is the almighty, all-knowing, all-loving creator of all things. And this creator is good. It is all love. It is all power. It is all wisdom and beauty and joy and peace. It is everything that we call good. And I know that this God is ever present, is ever at work in my life. And as I know this, as I know that the entirety of existence has sprung forth from God, that I can sit here and affirm today that I am made of God stuff. And as a conscious being made from God, I know that as God is in the great, I am in the small. And all of the qualities that God is are all qualities that reside in me. And I have access to all of the love, all of the joy, all of the power that is God. And just as I know this about myself, I know this about you. I know this about everyone listening to my voice now. I know this about everyone that is walking on the planet. We are all connected to God. And we are all pulling our energy. Everything good that we have in our lives comes from God, including our lives. And so it is with gratitude that I can proclaim this, that I affirm that this is true. It is with gratitude that I can affirm an indwelling, loving presence that is working in my life and working in the lives of everyone. And it is with this gratitude that I release these words. I release these words into the mind of the universe. I hand my cares, all of my cares, over to God. And combined with my belief in God and my knowledge of the good that God is, all of my cares are lifted from me. All of my problems, everything that I could ever be worried about, I hand it over to God to do its work. And I'm grateful to be here, grateful to be among blessed souls on this blessed Sunday. And I release these words, knowing that they are true and that they are done. And let us all release these words with the words, and so it is.
In our announcements today, we would like to thank the Reverend David Clark for leading us in worship this week and the music provided by his wife, Heather Clark. We appreciate all the ministers and lay people who have been filling our pulpit, acting as readers, and providing the children's message during our time of transition. A reminder that we have a fellowship hour each Sunday at 11:30 via Zoom. You should have received the link in the weekly email. If you did not, or would like to be invited, please write to the email you see on your screen, jimjordan@pioneerucc.org. Next Sunday, March 21st, we will enjoy the ministry of Reverend Bill Pfeiffer Foote. Pastor Bill is our new interim minister. His official start date is Easter Sunday, April 4th. But we wanted to get a chance to hear him and have a time of meet and greet during the fellowship hour. Again, that's next Sunday, March 21st. This Sunday is also one great hour of sharing. We'd like to ask you to please participate. You can go to the church's website and find a link to make a donation. Thank you. We'll see you at the fellowship hour.
that falls, a flower grows. And I believe that somewhere in the darkest night, a candle glows. I believe for everyone who goes astray, someone will come and show the way. I believe. I believe. I believe above a storm, the smallest prayer can still be heard. And I believe that someone in that great somewhere hears every word. Every time I hear a newborn baby cry, or see a leaf, or see the sky,
Go forth and know your blessings. Not only knowing your blessings, but go forth and expect blessings. Expect God's love and support and grace at all times, because it is there and it is true. And always remember that God loves you. And so it is.